Late night in the terminal. The air is thick with the scent of ozone and cold coffee. My reflection in the curved ultra-wide monitor is a ghost, pale skin, eyes rimmed with the red fatigue of a 36-hour watch, hidden behind thin, titanium-framed glasses that catch every flicker of the mempool. A single green line of code flickers, identifying a wallet signature that should not exist. This is the 0x7 signature, a ghost whale. It is moving 4,000 ETH into a tornado mixer. My hands are cold, not because of the air conditioning, but because of the signature on my screen. It belongs to the lead developer's private minting key, the man I stood next to at the launch. The founders aren't just selling, they are burning the house down with everyone inside. I am watching a logic bomb set to detonate the moment the pool hits 20 million. I feel the weight of every retail investor who trusted his face, and I am the only one watching the fuse burn. But I am not alone in the shadows. I tap a key, authorizing my DSNT clearance. The standard dashboard dissolves, replaced by the DeepSnitch raw feed. Agent 3 manifests not as text, but as a shifting, obsidian octahedron that pulses with every block confirmation. I whisper to the empty room, "Show me the intent behind the flow." The octahedron doesn't just process, it reacts. It shudders, the obsidian facets turning a violent, glowing violet, the color of a high-priority threat. It shatters into a heat map of secondary wallets, not just listing data, but aggressively isolating the threads of red light that lead back to the source. It's not just a tool, it's a predator that's finally found its scent. It identifies 15 proxy accounts created 48 hours ago, all linked to the same IP as the main dev portal. It is a masterpiece of fraud, a digital net closing around retail investors who think they are riding a moon mission. This is not a story about luck. It is about the activation of the third DeepSnitch AI agent. While the rest of the world was sleeping on the Stage 3 presale, this algorithm was busy mapping a transaction pattern identical to the 2022 liquidations. It did not just watch, it front-ran the disaster. Think of the market as a dark ocean. The whales move in the deep, their weight displacing billions. Usually you only see the wake they leave behind, the crash. But the ghost whale protocol changes the physics of the hunt. It turns the displacement into a predictable frequency. The DSNT token is a high-clearance pass into the neural network of the market. It grants access to a dashboard where delayed data is replaced by preemptive intel. When Agent 3 flags a rug pull, it doesn't just send a notification. It triggers an automated exit for DSNT holders, liquidating their positions milliseconds before the contract is drained. It is a countdown to a mathematical certainty. As the logic bomb triggers, the dashboard turns crimson. But for the DSNT holders, the exit was silent and instantaneous. While the general public watches their balances plummet to zero in a single block, the DSNT protocol had already swapped their positions into stable assets. The founders pressed the button, but they were ghosting an empty vault. The AI didn't just catch them, it bankrupted their intent. Silence returns to the room. I breathe, the adrenaline fading into a sharp, metallic clarity. We won this block, but the screen doesn't dim. The octahedron is already recalibrating, shifting its focus from a single thief to a global slaughter. I scan the raw telemetry. How did it flag this before the mempool even cleared? It wasn't hunting for price movement. That's a retail amateur's mistake. It was listening to the heartbeat of the smart contract itself. DeepSnitch agents are trained on what I call the symmetry of scams. It caught the minute jitter in GUI prices and the silent deployment of proxy contracts that always precede a total drain. The AI didn't see a chart, it saw a nervous system twitching before a strike. It quantified the risk at a 98% certainty while the founders were still hovering their fingers over the send key. This isn't just speed, it's digital clairvoyance. I stop. I listen to the silence of the room. A low-frequency hum begins to vibrate in my desk, the resonance of a million concurrent transactions. Outside, the world thinks the market is stable. They think their ETFs are fortresses. They have no idea that the walls are already paper-thin. I realize then that access to this dashboard isn't a luxury. It is a survival kit. Holding the DSNT token isn't about the 92% surge. It is about being on the right side of the glass when the hammer falls, because the hammer is coming. I lean back, the glow of the screen reflecting in my lenses until the data becomes a physical space. I close my eyes, but the terminal's blue light bleeds through my eyelids, morphing into the 2026 landscape. I call them the silent graveyards. The terminal room fades into vast, marble halls of traditional banks, the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a skyline of flickering power grids. These halls are now filled with rows of rusting server racks, the ETFs. These institutional funds are mandated by their charters to buy the top and hold through the floor. They are monolithic, slow-moving statues in a digital storm. I've run the simulations. An ETF takes an average of 24 hours to respond to a liquidity crisis. Meanwhile, in the digital ether, the obsidian pulse of Agent 3 takes 4 milliseconds to pivot. In that gap, the 0x7 signatures will move like ghosts through the marble halls, feasting on the stagnant capital. If you are in an ETF, you are a statue waiting to be toppled. In the bunker, you are the storm itself. But look closer at the convergence. This isn't just about avoiding a loss, it's about the transfer of power. As these ETFs drain into the pockets of the ghost whales, the only entities capable of liquidity provision will be the AI-driven bunkers. We are moving toward a dual-tier economy, the public price for the statues and the private flow for the hunters. By the time the Stage 4 presale hits the mainstream news, the infrastructure, the very code I'm looking at now, will be the most valuable real estate on the planet. You don't just want to watch the tape. You want to be the one who owns the tape. But the failure of the ETFs isn't just about their speed. It is about their transparency. In the on-chain world, being public is being vulnerable. While an ETF publishes its holdings and rebalance dates, the DeepSnitch agents are invisible, operating in the dark pools of the network. The 0x7 signatures don't just outrun the ETFs, they bait them. They create phantom liquidity that the institutional algorithms are forced to buy, only to vanish the moment the trade is confirmed. The SEC didn't just approve a new asset class, they opened a hunting season where the prey is required by law to stay in the clearing. The 92% surge in DeepSnitch's valuation isn't just a number on a chart. It is the sound of smart money abandoning the burning buildings of traditional finance. They are moving into the algorithmic bunkers because they've realized the same thing I have. They are buying the ability to see the rug pull before the founder's hand even touches the keyboard. If the Stage 3 window showed us anything, it's that the gap between the informed and the liquidated is widening. Now, let us strip away the metaphor. In 2026, the economy will be divided into those who follow the price and those who follow the flow. DeepSnitch AI represents the democratization of VC-level intelligence. The agent caught that $10 million rug because it quantified risk faster than any macro indicator could. The data is undeniable. With $850,000 raised and 3 of 5 agents already live, the window for asymmetric alpha is closing. Pause, static. I see the feed flicker. The 2026 bottom, signaled by Elliott wave theory, is not a threat to those holding the right tools. It is a liquidation event for everyone else. It is the moment when the time-to-transaction gap becomes a wealth transfer mechanism, moving capital from the slow, human-governed ETFs to the high-velocity AI bunkers. The verdict is cold, but it is honest. In 2026, the ETF flood will act as a smoke screen, masking the true convergence of AI and blockchain. Wall Street is building a playground for the 0x7 signatures of the future, and they are using your liquidity to do it. Your strategy must shift from betting on tokens to owning the infrastructure that hunts the scammers. If you aren't holding the code, you are the prey. I look back at my monitor. The obsidian octahedron has stopped pulsing. It's waiting. I move my cursor over the execute button on the next high clearance alert, a signature from a Tier 1 investment bank that's starting to leak heat. They think they are the apex predators. They don't realize Agent 3 has already mapped their exit. Stage 4 is looming, and with it, the barrier to entry for this intelligence will only get higher. I need to secure my position in the bunker before the doors lock for good. Because if you think the ghost whale is dangerous, wait until you see the 126 ETFs destined to become graveyards in our next breakdown. I click execute. The violet light of the octahedron flares, casting long, predatory shadows against the terminal walls. On the screen, the bank's signature begins to fracture. It is the same symmetry of scams I saw in the developer's code, now scaled to the size of a sovereign fund. The hunt begins. I don't turn off the lights, I don't need them anymore. The glow of the bunker is enough.